Why most drivers stay broke. You can drive 70 hours a week and still feel like you're getting nowhere. But what if the problem isn't trucking? What if the problem is how most drivers think about trucking? Trucking doesn't reward effort, it rewards understanding the business. Let me tell you something most drivers don't say out loud. You can be one of the hardest working people on the highway and still be broke. I know that because I've lived it. For years, I've drove long miles, overnight runs, holiday runs, snowstorms, traffic jams. And check this out. And like most drivers, I believe one thing. If I just work harder, the money will come. But it never worked like that because trucking is one of the few industries where hard work alone doesn't make you wealthy. You can drive 3,000 miles a week and still be stuck. Why? Because trucking has two different worlds. World number one, drivers who trade time for money, company drivers. World number two, drivers who learn the business of trucking. And the difference between those worlds can be six figures a year. Let me tell you a story. Back in the early days of my career, I was working with another driver, a good man, hard worker, always on time. And one day we were sitting in the truck stop and he said this. He said, "You are not making the money you think." And we were making about $12 an hour, bringing home maybe 300 a week after taxes. And I remember him saying something that shook me. He looked at me square dead in the eyes and said, "Solomon, this ain't real money." Now, at the time, I thought he was crazy. I said, "What do you mean? We're working every day?" He said something I'll never forget. "This is company drivers' money. Owner money is different." That moment changed everything because I realized something important. Most drivers only see one side of the industry. They see loads, miles, dispatch, but they never see freight contracts, container rates, equipment financing, broker margins, owner's profit. And when you understand those things, okay, your perspective will change. Let me give you a simple example. A driver may haul a container from Memphis to Chicago. They may get paid $800 for that run, but the freight customer might be paying $2,200. See the difference? That's business. That's where knowledge lives. And the moment I understood that, I stopped thinking like a driver and I started thinking like an owner. That shift is what eventually led me to my first truck. Now, I didn't have money, no big savings, no investors, but I had one thing: belief. And with $2,500 that I borrowed from my grandfather, I bought my first truck. It wasn't pretty. No. It wasn't perfect. No, it wasn't. Absolutely not. But the truck changed my life because once I started running under my own authority, everything changed. I wasn't chasing hours anymore. I was managing revenue. That first year, six figures, not because I was lucky, but because I finally understood the system behind trucking. And that's what most drivers never get taught. Nobody explains how ownership works, how leases work, how freight contracts work, how equipment actually pays you. So drivers stay stuck for 10, 15, even 20 years, working harder, but never crossing the line. Listen carefully. If you're watching this and you're a driver right now, you're not stuck because you're lazy. You're stuck because no one showed you the map. And that's exactly why I created the ebook that's found below my video. It's called "I Was Broke Behind the Wheel: until trucking paid me six figures. Inside, it explains the mindset shift, the ownership path, and the mistakes most drivers make. If you're serious about your situation and your future in trucking, download that guide because trucking can absolutely change your life, but only when you learn how the business really works. And remember this, the road doesn't just lead to miles. For some drivers, it leads to ownership. Now get at it and download that free ebook. Until next time, I got you.